This is Sky Power Radio and TV Services Studios, West Yorkshire, Leeds, Stencil Mount. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you wherever you are on this planet Earth. My name is Mustafa Jame at the state in the studios right now. Saying good day to you wherever you are. Right, as promised, today we've got the High Excellency, the High Commissioner of the Gambia with us in studios. Honorable Fatou Bensouda is here with us. First of all, we would like to say thank you very much for taking the time, energy, and effort in your busy schedule to come and join us here to take us through a discussion. I will not say an interview, a discussion that is Gambia related. First of all, I would like you to say hello to our viewers and listeners, and then from there we will follow the discussion in that sequence. Honorable, Your Excellency, welcome to Sky Power for the first time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jame. Thank you for having me. Let me use the opportunity to also greet all the viewers and listeners to this program. It's a pleasure to join you for this chat.
Thank you very much. Much obliged and appreciated. You are the current High Commissioner of the Gambia in the United Kingdom.
Yes.
A lot of people might hear the word High Commissioner, Ambassador, Embassy, and all that. Different times, different ways of saying it.
Yeah.
But I would like you to help me if you say High Commission. What is a High Commission?
Actually, a High Commissioner is an ambassador. But when you are a country coming from the Commonwealth, they call it a High Commissioner. But it is the same thing as what an ambassador does. So you will see that even in my case, I cover the United Kingdom, but I also cover about 7 to 8 other countries, such as the Nordic countries. I cover Norway, I cover Sweden, I'm accredited to Denmark, Austria, and the Holy See. All those other countries, because they are not part of the Commonwealth, they call me ambassador there. You know, I am an ambassador, but to the United Kingdom and to other Commonwealth countries, I am a High Commissioner.
That is so clear. Coming to the next, if I may ask you, what is the essence of the High Commission?
The High Commissioner is the representative of the country in the United Kingdom. This is the highest office or the highest representative office that the Gambia has in the United Kingdom and in the various other countries that I cover as well. And basically, by representing my country, it is more or less the first port of call for the United Kingdom officials, let's say the FCDO, Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office. They contact the High Commissioner directly to be able to kind of liaise with the Gambia, because I'm sitting here as representing the Gambia. So to represent, to be able to liaise both with the government departments and government offices, the Office of the President, all the government per se, we do that. And apart from that also, there is the interrelation between all the countries that are represented here. Usually when they want to connect to the Gambia, they pass through the Office of the High Commission. I'm also representing the Gambia at the various international organizations that are located here in the UK. For instance, the Commonwealth. I am the direct contact for the Commonwealth for various ministries, whether it's the Youth Minister, whether it's the Foreign Affairs Minister or Gender. And I also am the permanent representative for the Gambia at the IMO, the International Maritime Organization, also at UNIDO, and and various other organizations that are here, international organizations. I represent them. But apart from that, which I perhaps would call the official or the professional bodies that are here, I also am supposed to look after the welfare of Gambians abroad. And this is equally as important as representing my country in the UK per se. The fact that I'm here as a representative of the Gambia, Gambians can also call on me when they need official documents such as emergency travel documents, when they need advice on how to get, for instance, their passport renewed and where to direct them. When unfortunately, an unfortunate event happens, we are also informed, and we make sure that the Gambia is informed and the relevant authorities over there are informed as soon as possible, and to see what we can do about it. Ever since I came, I have really opened my doors to the Gambians who are living here in the UK and other countries that I cover, for them to know that this is a Gambia house. The High Commission is a Gambia house, and that every Gambian who's living abroad, who's living here, has the right to come to the High Commissioner, to the High Commission, and to reach out to the High Commission and to reach out to the staff for assistance that are within our means and mandate, and that we are supposed to assist them.
So, if you say assistance within your means, what are some of the assistance that are within your means? Because we need to know this. If not, a lot of people might be thinking some of the things that are not even your job. They'll be thinking, well, go see the High Commissioner, go to the embassy and all that. So, what are the things within your means?
Well, that is true to clarify that, because maybe some people even think that, you know, we should give, let's say, financial assistance to them and financial support. No, we don't do that, because, well, the means come in there. We cannot do that because we do not have the budget for that. We have a welfare vote, which is a very small vote, that we can do simple things like, for instance, give a donation of a token amount for some event that is happening, or perhaps we have someone in the community who is bereaved, and then we are able to get some just small amount that we can to give to the family, for them to help in for instance taking back the body home, and those kind of things. That's what I say, within our means, because our mandate is quite clear. We obviously have to help Gambians when they want to renew their documents, as I said, for instance, if they want to have an emergency travel document because their documents have already expired. And as you know, as of now, we are not able to renew passports here. And people have to get back to the Gambia to be able to renew those passports, for instance. We are able to give them emergency travel documents that they can use to get to the Gambia and renew their passports here. I'm hoping that this is soon going to change, and that we will be able to we are working on that. We will be able to do the renewals here, but as you know, it involves a lot of technical stuff, which we're not yet equipped to be able to do that. Even if it means teams coming from the Gambia who are equipped to do so, we're exploring all those avenues. So these are the kind of things that I mean. Sometimes Gambians are having events like right now, as you know, the cultural week, for instance, of various communities are happening across the UK and even elsewhere. And I am having to be present in most of them, at least to make them know that
We're here.
Yeah, that I am here, and that the High Commission is as accessible as we can be to all Gambians. So I'm trying to fulfill that role as well. Sometimes also people get married and they have their documents which shows that they're married, and they want to authenticate those documents. So in that particular case also, we step in, whether it's a birth certificate, whether it's a marriage certificate, whether unfortunately sometimes it's a death certificate and all that, we are able to authenticate that, and then you can do the rest of it. So it's quite a lot of work to be done, and so we're trying as much as we can to give it our best.
What can I do for my embassy as a Gambian?
I think what is more important than anything is the registration. Registration of, as a Gambian, if you come in, and of course you are here legally, it is important that you register with the embassy so that we know where you are, so that we know where you live, the proof of address, and all of that. So if anything should happen, and questions are being asked, questions are being raised, and when I say anything, I'm just not talking about something bad, because good things can also happen. We will be in a position to easily locate our national and be able to take any steps that is needed in that kind of situation. So that is one important first step that should be taken. But also, I know that Gambians are here and they are doing a lot to contribute to the development of the Gambia, in various ways. I believe that having the High Commission involved in those things by coming to us, informing us of what you are doing, what attempts, like some people come and say, I want to do this project. I'm trying to connect with the Gambia, but it's a problem. I'm not able to reach the people. Things like that. If we are brought into the picture, obviously we'll do everything that we can to be able to facilitate that. So it's extremely important that we are involved in it. We get to know about what is happening, because you're sitting, for instance, and you're saying that you want to assist your country, you want to contribute to national development. If you are just in one corner, in your corner, and trying to do it, and you know how communication can be very difficult. You have the Gambia House here that can facilitate what you are doing, and that can also, which will be a win-win situation, really, because it will be good for the person who wants to contribute to development in the Gambia. It is good for our country, because you are bringing sort of investment or some kind of development or an initiative that is good for the country, and it will be good for the High Commission and staff, because at least we'll feel that we are doing something meaningful and useful for the development of our country.
How many registered Gambians have you got?
At the moment, um, it is definitely around 20 to 30,000 at the moment. But we understand that it is much more than that. Much more than that. And in fact, it is not, I'm calling this number, but it's not all of them that are even registered. There are some who just don't bother. So, but
Yeah, but
we
that
in
that
count.
bit,
Mhm.
yeah, that bit. Why do you think people don't want to bother?
Various reasons. Various reasons. Some people, once they get to Europe, some people feel that they don't need their country anymore. They don't need the Gambia. Now I have papers. Gambia can take their passports. Some people even go to the extent of saying that. And some people, unfortunately, are not yet legal in this country. And there is perhaps a level of suspicion that if they register, perhaps the High Commission will report them, and then perhaps this can lead to the various things, which are wrong. These are wrong, of course, because what interest do we have in doing that? But definitely there are quite a few who do not register or make their presence known. But
That is
we
extremely, yeah, that's extremely important, Your Excellency, because that bit is something that I think we need the civic education side. That's why I mentioned to the assistant high commissioner. I think we need to educate people about why the high commission, what you do. You're not here to
yeah.
damage or to tarnish anybody, to report anybody, but
Ab-
you are here to help.
yes,
But
absolutely.
that educational side of it, you
Yeah.
don't think that's lacking, Your Excellency?
Well, I do. I actually think that's lacking, and that we can always do more. This is why I told you that ever since I came, at least for me, speaking as the current High Commissioner, I thought it critically important that we need to engage our diaspora. We need to engage them. We need to talk to them. We need to enlighten them. So far, I have been, for instance, quite a few engagements I have made, and in all of that, my advice, or my what I tell them is more or less the same. You know, I call on the unity of Gambians. I call on the support of Gambians to one another, to the communities that are here, and I call on, working with the High Commission, being in contact with the High Commission, trying to register, especially when we are not perhaps always in the community. We do not know exactly what is going on, and it is for those who are in the community, who stayed here for some time, who know things and who can tell us that this is important, we have to look into this, you have to see what you can do about this, things like that. So I agree with you. It's very, very important to have this awareness raising, this sensitization, that we can talk to Gambians who are living abroad under the jurisdiction that we serve.
Yeah, these sort of avenues or platforms could be something that, if like the Gambians start inviting you to go to their Gambian programs, I think that could be another avenue to say, to explain to them, the Gambian High Commission is here, and then the number of people who are registered with us is way less than the number of people in this country. Well, coming
Indeed.
to the legalities and the legal side of that, and then the paperwork, documented and undocumented people, what can you tell them? What can you tell them to convince them? Because some of them, this paperwork issue could be a very sensitive issue sometimes. What can you do to convince them?
Well, I mean, one cannot force them, for instance, but I believe if we are able to explain, very plainly and very clearly, the need for Gambians to make themselves known to the High Commission, and to actually be in the register at the High Commission's office. This is actually quite maybe even beneficial to them, because we have had instances here. I cannot talk very specifically about various, but we have had instances in which Gambians are perhaps, unfortunately, maybe in an unfortunate situation, and authorities are reaching out to us to inform us, or to tell us that we should be able to, whether we can identify the person, whether those kind of things, or who. And sometimes it's even it's unfortunately even, perhaps in a mental state, or in a state that really they need the help of, like the High Commissioner. They need the help of other Gambian communities who can step in. So that is quite important, I think. And I believe that Gambians should who are living abroad should know that, who've not registered, who've not made themselves known. It is not a question of, I have nothing to do with the Gambia, they cannot do anything for me. It is not that. It is that, officially we are here. We are for the government, and we are for the Gambian people. So they should look at, and why we're here is because we look out for the welfare of Gambians and what we can do for them. So they should look at it that way, that perhaps one day you will need the assistance from the High Commission, and it will be very easy for us to give it in those circumstances.
To reiterate this, I would ask, I've
Mhm.
asked, what can I do for my embassy? But what can my embassy do for me? For us to elaborate on that a bit more, that would convince a lot of people. I like to think that there is a lot that the embassy or the High Commission can do, which
Yeah.
is the good. What
Yeah.
can my embassy do for me?
No, as I told you, I don't want to go. I don't want to repeat about the issues of documents, needing documents from back home, needing authentications, and things like that. I don't want to repeat it. It's there already. I have said it. This is one thing that the embassy can do for you. I mean, since I came, I have had incidents in which, unfortunately, people will go all the way to the airport, to travel, and they will be told that, your passport has expired. Imagine that happens, and we have to quickly step in, even coming out of weekends, coming out of to just assist and make sure that the person's needs are met, so that they can travel, things like that. And if we have if there are many requests for many things, issues of whether it is inheritance because some documents are missing, whether it is marriage because they have to prove that they've been married to this person, they need papers, whether it is a birth certificate, the person was born in Gunjur, for instance, in your village and not in another place, those kinds of things, your personal documents that you really need, the embassy can be very helpful for that. And so the interaction, I think, that we should have with our people, with our nationals, with the communities that are formed here, organizations, associations that are trying to do, things. It's very important to have that connection. And that is why I said earlier on when we spoke that I think it is crucially important for me to attend these events, to show my accessibility to these associations and groups and, community leaders and religious leaders, etc., in the event that there is any assistance that they may need, which we are able to provide. But also for them to also reach out to us, and not just to just do things their own, but reach out and get us involved. We are ready to be involved. We have the DHM is there. It's also very, very accessible. Our the counselor is there, the first secretary, we have the financial attaché, all those people are there. And what they're doing is to facilitate the interaction between Gambians here, apart from the other countries, but with the Gambians and the High Commission. So it's really important that that link is there, it exists, and that when the community is attempting to do something which is proving difficult for them to do, perhaps the embassy and the mission can step in and see what can be done, even if we have to source funds from elsewhere to assist if we do not have it. We're prepared to do that, because at the end of the day, Gambia first. That's what I say all the time. Gambia first. Gambia is our country. We may even have other nationalities, we can have that. But the fact that we were born in the Gambia and Gambians, it's Gambia first. We should not lose sight of that.
How do I register with the embassy?
Well, you come up at the embassy, and you bring your papers. Of course, we will need proof that you're Gambian. And then we have a register that is there, and we will be able to, register, take your name, and take all the important details that will make us contact you immediately in case of anything. And take your phone number, have a proof of address. This one is also very, very important. And that's it. It's not a complicated procedure.
But you don't think the traveling side of it might make it a bit discouraging or complicated? Because with the technology now, you don't think there should be that sort of thing in place to say, I would do this online, scan my passport, scan all details, and then send it to them for authentication and verification. If need be, if I need to come, yes. But for me to come all the way from Scotland or somewhere else, you
No,
don't think the digitalization of it?
no, but already we're doing that. Already
All
we are
right.
doing that. With respect to, there are some people
Yeah.
who, and if you go to the website, you will see that we are saying this. If we have all the documents that are sent to us, which is authenticated, and we're able to issue this, we can issue it without you being present. But you have to give us time. You have to give us time for us to be able to make the verification that is necessary to be able to give you the document that you're seeking. But if you say, I'm traveling on Friday, and you call us on Thursday and say that, this is what I want, but I cannot come, I have to send it, then practically it's difficult for us to do anything. So if you give
Right.
us
Let's put a time to this. Like, if
Mhm.
you want a passport and you want to travel on an emergency, or if you want a birth certificate or a marriage certificate, can we put a time to this?
Well, I would just before I say or misspeak, I know that the time that we've put on that now is very it's not a long time. It's a very short time. For instance, when people come in, we try to make sure that you do not spend there, more than 15 to 20 minutes if you have all your documents in. If you come in physically, we don't make you stay there. We're able to give a return of your request as soon as possible. But if you're away, you have to take in mind that you have to post the documents. It gets to us, and we do what is necessary, provided that all the documents that we need are there, and the passport size photos and things like that. And then we also have to take into account that we have to post it again to you. So sometimes we even ask for, I think, a stamp mail, we call it, in which we can put it there and be able to send it back as quickly as possible. So really, it shouldn't take long, but you cannot give us a very, very short time, like give us 3 days or 2 days and expect it to be done. Perhaps in a week, but I'm not so sure. I think a week should be fine. But it's all in the website, as I said.
Yeah. So that's why we
Just
want to
go there.
digitalize. Yeah. Some of these things, we need to start the way of digitalizing it, or giving people back the control of like doing their own thing,
Sure.
scanning it, emailing it, and getting reach out. So that social side of it, I've
Yes.
seen somebody is running your page, is putting
Mm-hmm.
some information there and all, and then I will encourage people to
Mm-hmm.
go to that site, and
Yeah.
then a lot of information would be found there. Some of them, will browse through them on here. But
Mm-hmm.
if I may ask,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the difficulties that you say
Mm-hmm.
you might say you have, if any?
You mean the difficulties with regards to the documents, or
Running the embassy, like running the
uh,
embassy with the people, with
yeah,
what are some of the difficulties,
yeah.
challenges?
Well, first and foremost, and I think this is not only the embassies; it affects uh, all the. I mean, it affects government departments and ministries, and the issue of resources. It's really a problem for the embassy, because if we are able to do a lot with the meager resources that we have, I think we can do a lot if that is increased. So it is a matter that, of course, one of the first things that we bring to the attention of the government, and also to be able to do just even basic things, and make sure that our buildings here are maintained, make sure that the cars that we have are maintained, and that we do not have only one, and we have at least two, things like that. It's resources that we need to do our work. We are not asking for anything extra or extraordinary. We're just asking for the basic resources that we need to be able to effectively function as an embassy, as a high commissioner. So resources is one of the challenges that we really face. In fact, I would say that it's a big challenge that we face, which we've brought to the attention of the authorities, and hopefully this would be addressed. So that's one of them. Of course, second thing is, I've mentioned it before, about Gambians embracing the High Commissioner, the High Commission, I would say, and staff, embracing and knowing that they also have an important role to play in the effective functioning of the embassy by interacting with us, by engaging with us, asking for services that we can give them, asking for assistance to be able to, for them to contribute to what is happening in the Gambia and things like that. So we still are really pushing that for it to happen. We're pushing that, but it's, at the moment, we can say that, it is not forthcoming. At least I've been here in a short time now, and I believe in just giving my work everything I've got. So it's one of the things that I've really said, that really we need to engage as much as possible, and also give chance to people who are out there to be able to contribute to national development, despite the fact that they are abroad.
These resources, if I may ask, who is to be blamed? Not blame like in blame game, but who is responsible? And have you ever mentioned this to the authorities responsible?
No, this is not a question of blaming anyone. It's the system. It's the system that we are in. Just like if you are at home and you make your estimates of what you need, your budget, and you present it to the right authorities. For us, we do that through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You present your budget, and it is looked at, and of course, the Ministry of Finance, they all also have a role to play on whether this budget can pass or whether this cannot pass. You have to reduce here, or you have, it's just the system that we have, and unfortunately, perhaps not always. And here I don't want to really cast any blame or aspersions, but sometimes maybe the way the budget is presented is perhaps lacking, and you come in and you find that really this should have been taken care of, this should have been taken care of, but it is not there, and then you have to find a way in which you have to do it. So this is what I mean. It's the system that we are in. Of course, they don't just also take money, or that is not in the budget, and say, okay, take, this is what you need now. Go ahead. There's a process. So this is what I mean. But as long as we are, identifying those issues, as long as we're identifying where we lack those resources, and as I'm saying, well, I'm not talking about anything extraordinary, just simple things like good functioning computers, that kind of thing. If we are able to list it carefully and send it to the right channels, and it becomes part of what is being deliberated upon as part of the budget at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, then fine. And this is the process that we are engaged in right now.
A lot of people watching at the moment, and the comment is like, thank you for speaking out, that you are not having the resources that you need. And then this is something that, because if anything that's going to affect the livelihood of the Gambians, we need to speak about it. We need to discuss it. We need to talk about it. Because if not, the blame would be, people might be pointing fingers at you, whilst it's not you. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Well, no, it makes sense, of course, and that is why I'm just trying to summarize that. Okay, this is part of the challenges that we face. It is not to sit or and blame people, or to say, it's just to present the facts as they are. That's what I'm doing. That this is a challenge that we face, and I'm sure we are not the only High Commission. We are not the only embassy that is facing that. It runs across the I think all the embassies, but also even back home, I'm sure there are departments and ministries who are also having this problem of perhaps lacking the resources that is needed. No, it is to be addressed. It is something that needs to be addressed. And I do believe that the authorities who should do that, directly responsible, I'm sure they're looking into that.
Coming to the UK here,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think people here or community outreach
Mm-hmm.
could make a difference?
Indeed, it can make a difference. And then we go back to all these invitations and even me taking the initiative sometimes, because if you recall, this year when we had the International Women's Day, we decided at the High Commission that we're going to hold it in Birmingham, and that we all, mobilized to go there and hold it there and make sure that people in the Midlands, had access to that. Hopefully next year we can do it in another.
Leeds, come to Leeds next year.
Yeah, sure, why not? So this is a way of really reaching out to the communities, reaching out to them, and also in a way sort of showcasing what those communities are doing. I have seen really that there are many groups in different parts of the countries that I cover who are doing very, very useful things. Some are engaged in helping the youth. Some are engaged in ensuring that if there is any loss of life, for instance, that all the necessary things are done for that person to be evacuated. Some we have seen have provided support to those who are victims of very, very serious crimes. So people are doing things. It is happening. It is happening in the communities. It is happening, and it is good that we make that known. And also to see what contribution we can bring, what we can add to it, especially to emphasize the importance of what they are doing. Just recently, I was in Birmingham again, and there was this football tournament which was organized.
I saw the kickoff. You did the
You,
kickoff, yeah.
you saw the kickoff. I made
Yeah.
sure that it was very strong.
It was an ex-footballer then. He looks like an ex-footballer there.
You see,
Yeah.
I did some football in
Okay, good.
yeah, but it was very nice, very interesting, and you saw that the different communities have been encouraged. I understand that when it started, it was just a few teams. Now they have quite a sizable number of teams that attend, and they do that. And then there is quite a lot of positive socializing. People come from all over, and they attend these things. You've not seen people for so long. You reconnect. So it's
Yeah.
really very, very
That
important.
that is a very good avenue to tap into. Definitely, it's an avenue where you can reach to the grassroots level people at any level.
Yeah.
Coming to talk to them, educate them about we are here. Even
Yeah.
if you have footballs, we will be. Even if I'm not there, being the
Mm.
High Commissioner, I will
Yeah.
send somebody to come and see you and things like that. Reaching out
Yeah.
to them and then interacting with them.
Sure.
I think that would be a way forward when it
Yeah.
comes to educating people.
Yes, and in fact, just to encourage them, I'm sure you have seen that also. I have been giving out certificates of recognition, of appreciation, of gratitude for those who have really been going the extra mile to ensure that they're taking care of their communities. I mean, we can't do everything, we can't do it all, but the fact that even before they connected with the High Commissioner, they are doing it themselves. They took the initiatives to do these different things in their communities. I thought it was worthy, at least, of commending them in one way or another. And it's a certificate that would usually just talk about and recognize and appreciate all the work that the person has been doing or the association has been doing, to encourage them to know that they're on the right path and they are doing the right things for their communities.
Thank you. How many countries
Mhm.
under your watch?
Now you're making me count. So all right, I cover the 5 Nordic countries. And I also cover Austria. I cover the Holy See. That is why you perhaps saw me recently. I went to present my letters to the Pope, because we cover, as you know, that it's considered a state, a country.
Yeah.
So
If
yeah,
you can help me with this, with the names, because if you say the
Nordic.
5 notice, a lot of people might
Okay.
not know. People from
What
Sukuta,
Nordics?
people from Sukuta might not know this.
Okay. Let me try. I think this is 4 of them. Norway,
Yeah.
Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. So I have already presented my letters to Norway, also to Sweden. I was there recently. I'm planning to go to, I've been requested to go to present my letters in Finland. So it's coming up before the end of the summer, and also Denmark. So Denmark, and then I cover Austria, cover the Holy See, and Ireland. Also cover Ireland. So these are the countries that I cover. Of course, the United Kingdom, as well.
So Germany is not part of yours.
No, Germany is not part of mine. In fact, I think Germany was covered by perhaps France. I'm not so sure, but I know that recently we are the government is planning to open direct bilateral, representations in Germany and in Gambia. So Germany will be on its own now, and
On its
not.
own now. How about Brussels, Belgium?
Belgium is the Mr. Jabate. I'm
Okay.
sure he covers the Benelux countries.
The Benelux. Does that include Italy?
No, Italy is covered differently. It's
Differently.
covered, yes, yeah. One has to really sit and think where, because as you know, we cannot open embassies everywhere because of resources again. It really involves also a lot of resources. So what the practice that the government has been doing is, you sit in one country as the resident in a residential capacity there, but covering other countries that are near to, or that have been that you have been accredited to. So that's
any achievements, Your Excellency?
well. Okay, today, 1 year ago, I left the Gambia to come. In fact, your interview is very timely. I left the Gambia to.
It's 1 year today.
It's 1 year when I left the Gambia 1 year today, and tomorrow I am 1 year in London. So of course you can say it's a short time, but you can also say it's a long time. And I thought that what was critically important was to look for the low-hanging fruits. What can I do which probably will not involve a lot of resources, needing resources to do that. So one of those things is, trying to engage my community. And I think that I have actually, well, we thank Allah, but I think it's been going well. And what I wanted to see is that for Gambians to take ownership of the fact that this is their mission, and that they are, interacting with them. I see that there is more reaching out by the community towards the mission, towards the High Commission. This is also a good thing. I try as much as I can to, it's difficult to explain the other official things that I have been able to do, and to achieve, including a very important agreement that we were able to finalize with Norway recently, which concerns the fisheries sector. So these are some of the things that we're trying to do. And as I said, I believe it is working. I am trying to ensure that there is as much unity as possible among Gambians. As I said, for me, it's all about our country. It's about the Gambia. This is really first and foremost what interests me. And I have been away from the Gambia, as you know, for a long time. I'm back. Before I left, I served my country. When I came back, also, I'm serving my country with the same dedication and the same commitment. So this has to be, at least to showcase it in the work that I do. Again, what was critically important for me also is to look for investors, to encourage investors to go to the Gambia. I don't have to go with them, but at least I am able to point them to where they should go. And I am hoping that, in fact, some important developments, will take place. It's very early for me to say or to talk about it publicly, but
Let me know privately.
No, well, we'll just see. I'm sure when everything is sorted, there will be that public announcement about it. But it's really very, very important for me to look for what is going to progress my country, what is going to advance my country, what is going to be useful for my country to engage in. And this is what is driving me. This is what is driving my office. This is what is driving the staff of the High Commission.
So the people in Sweden, people in Norway, people in Belgium, in Finland. People in Finland. Do they register as Gambians here or in the country they are?
Well, the practice that we have is that in these different countries there will also be consul generals, who report to me directly. Because it is more a way of ensuring that there is someone on the ground who's is there permanently, whom they can easily access. Because, for instance, if they were every little thing they have to come to London, it is really a burden. It can be difficult, but they have that consul in-house in the country, and who is accessible and reachable. Of course, there are in some of them where we do not at the moment have a permanent one, and we are sorting that out. And I was only able to find that out when I went to those countries, and they raised the issue that really the Gambia government should try to identify people and to be able to appoint them to that places, so it makes it easier for them to come into contact. And one of the things that I've advised in one country is that, look, you here, you live here, who can be effective and useful for you. Make nominations, tell me that we think this person or this person can be a good consul for us here, and then we will do the rest. From capital, we'll do the rest. We'll make the necessary, after checking, of course, we'll do our due diligence. It is important, but after checking, we will go back to the government and say that so and so can be appointed here, so on. Make recommendations. It doesn't have to be followed, but I'm sure if we make recommendations reasonable and show that all the criteria that should be met to be able to assist Gambians there is already there.
Interesting. So one person in each of these every country, you got a consular general reporting to yourself.
Yes, we have we are connected. In fact, whatever they are supposed to be doing, it has to go through the office. It has to go through the High Commission, and we have that working relationship already. That is how it is supposed to happen. That's how it is supposed to be. And then, for instance, at the end of every year, there is supposed to be a report from them as to their activities during the year. What they
These
have.
councillors, are they Gambians?
Well, they are not Gambians. There are some who are Gambians. But because before, when it all started, someone who is like a friend of the Gambia, who is interested in the Gambia, can actually be recommended to be a consul general there in that country. So we do have nationals of those countries as consul general. We have had some who've served for a long time, as consul general, because perhaps they were in the Gambia or they had a business in the Gambia or that kind of thing. But now, as you know, the demography is changing. Things are changing. We are having Gambians who are in these countries. Maybe they even have the nationality of that country, and they are well established to be able to take care of the welfare of Gambians there. So in fact, in the jurisdiction that I do have one Gambian that is already a consul general for the Gambia in that particular country. So it can happen. But
Yeah, but it will, to me, I think if it's Gambian,
yeah,
it has to be more Gambian. If it's Gambian, it has to be Gambian, so that the level of the traditional, the cultural setup, the way we think, the mindset, the
yeah,
perception, the
yeah.
reception, and all that, the empathy, the sympathy, the way
Mhm,
how we walk in the Gambia. So
yes.
I think it would make more weight if it's manned by Gambian.
You know what I already accept that. Let me put
Thank
it
you.
that I already accept that, and this is why I made a suggestion to one of the jurisdictions I cover that make recommendations to me of a Gambian that you think that can be. But the unfortunate thing is that in most of these places, or in some of them, there already is kind of acrimony amongst the community, and this,
Simplify that for
yeah,
us, please. Simplify that.
well, acrimony, just that they are, for one reason or the other, they have some kind of a conflict between themselves. You have breakaway groups that because of certain, they think that how this certain associations should be run is not being run, and then they have their own. So there is kind of division. There's kind of division, and this is why I say that wherever I go, I encourage unity.
Unity.
I encourage unity, and I encourage support for one another. Even if a certain group is not being led properly, there is nothing wrong with getting together and talking about it, and finding a solution, but in unity. In unity,
So,
yeah.
what are some of the requirements
Mhm.
somebody need for someone to be qualified to be a councillor general? Any requirements?
Well, not necessarily. You must be a person, first and foremost. You must be a person of high moral character. This is absolutely important because you are representing a whole country there. And we have also seen that usually those people who have done it are already perhaps established in their business. They have offices, that they can use, part of the office that they can use as the consulate, of that in that particular country, and that they have the means also to be able to communicate with, let's say in this case, with London. Sometimes they even go all the way to Gambia itself. So those are very, very important aspects of the representation of the country in those jurisdictions is quite important. And usually, the assessment is done they see that this person is already a very well-established, person who is very, very much interested in the welfare of Gambians, who is helpful to the community itself, but especially who is a person of high moral character.
Right. Okay. It is important here for us to clarify this bit, because out of all those countries like Belgium, Sweden, and all that, so since when have you been searching or looking into this or talking to people from Gambians to say this position is meant to be for yours? Come and take back control, take ownership, and make sure this is manned by a Gambian. Because Gambian to Gambian, we understand each other at all level, being Wolof, Mandinka, Fulajola, we know the setup. So
Yeah.
the level of communication and understanding is more easier. Does that make sense?
Well, first of all, I perhaps will say that you have to take into account, of course, the time I have spent here.
Yes.
As
Oh,
I
yes.
said, you have to take into account. And for me, I knew that time was of the essence, that I should not just come and wait, um, wait, wait. For instance, I earlier talked about resources. Even traveling to these countries is part of what should be budgeted for, that I am able to travel to these countries. But I
So,
use the opportunity.
so the budgeting for that as well, you need to wait for that budget to be approved for you to be able to go to these countries. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it needs to be budgeted for. When a high commissioner deploys to a certain country and is covering all these places, part of the budget is that that before I can exercise my functions in any of these countries legally or officially, I have to present my letters of credence to the king or the president, whoever is the leader there. So as I tried to explain before, this is why you saw, I think I was first called by Sweden to present letters. I did that. I presented my letters to the king, which officially triggers me being to be able, my being able to function, in Sweden legally and officially. So you have to do that, the presentation of letters. But also, you don't just get up and choose a date and tell the authorities in Sweden that I'm coming to present my letters. You have to send a letter, what they call at least your sort of your appointment letter, or agreement, they call it, agreement. The authorities in Sweden, I'm just taking Sweden as an example, but it applies to all the other countries. They will look at it, and they have to look at your CV, your background. They look at everything, and then they, until and unless they accept you to go and give you a date to present your letters, you have to wait. So this is, in those cases, it's also important why the consul generals are important, are there, because in that gap, for instance, you need to have somebody also in place that can, fill up that interim.
Is that why, to simplify it, is that why you have somebody from that country? Is that why?
Exactly, exactly,
But
exactly.
that particular
But
country or those countries are not making it easy. They're not making life easy for you then, or us as Gambians then.
no, it applies everywhere. This is just the how it works. This is exactly how it works. If, for instance, Sweden does not have an embassy in the Gambia, I'm sure they have someone, maybe in Dakar or in Ghana, who's covering the Gambia. And sometimes they pick someone from the Gambia to be a consul for Sweden in the Gambia. This is how, this is the setup. This is how it
Ah,
works.
okay, that's the
So for
politics.
every, and as you know, diplomacy is also reciprocity. We have to preserve the bilateral relationship that we have, and it's like a give and take. So in every country, even countries like Nigeria, where you say that they have a lot of well, they are more resource, they have more resources than we do. you'll find that some of their ambassadors are also covering 2 to 3 other countries. With respect to Uganda, all the African countries, they don't really have, even South Africa. South Africa has countries that is not covered by a resident ambassador, but from let's say from the UK. So it's like that. It's not that it's specific to the Gambia.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to have more Gambians, Gambian consulate in those countries, to be fair.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people here, over 200 people watching, and then just on the social platform, a lot of people watching at the moment. So pass the message on to that. Gambia High Commission resources is a problem for them, that is causing them, and the High Commissioner, anytime they need travel, they need approval and all that for her to be able to travel to those countries. So we're not trying to blame anybody here, but we're just passing the message on. And then you did mention ownership in your conversation here, like for us to engage citizens to take ownership, and such ownership. If you say ownership, what is there for us to take ownership of when it comes to the UK side of it?
No, ownership is just that to know that you belong. It's not that to know you belong, you are a Gambian. You have to own the fact that you are a Gambian, and that this High Commission that is here is for Gambians. It's for the welfare of Gambia.
Our High Commission.
It is our High Commission. It is, I mentioned at the beginning, that it is the Gambia House. Just simply put, that is what it is. You are a Gambian. You are here. The High Commission is here. The High Commission has been sent to do, amongst other things, to look out for the welfare of Gambians. So this is what I ask, that people should own that fact, that I am not more entitled to it because I'm the High Commissioner. You are not more entitled to it. Mr. X or Mr. Y is not more entitled to it. Every Gambian is entitled to know that we own the High Commission. It is our High Commission. It is our house.
If you say this, people from Sukuta would come there and then take ownership in such a way that you will drive them away. People from Sukuta.
No. When I say ownership, what I mean is that what we are supposed to do to recognize that this house is here, to recognize that when you need your documents, that we can assist you, to recognize the fact that when you are engaged in any initiatives that you think can help the country, the High Commission can play a role. This is what I mean, not to come and seize the High Commission.
The Secretarians, eh?
Yeah.
Yes. They are my, in-law. Well, yes. Your Excellency, running out of time, but I can't thank you enough. But before we take a leave of you, this is a step in the right direction. I would say a lot of people here, that's what they're saying. If you are accessible, people would have the fit or the guts to say, listen, I'm going to call the High Commission. But we would like to have some of the contacts. The emails is the Gambia High Commission, the Facebook page. A lot of people are on Facebook, Twitter, and all that. The Facebook page, whoever is posting there is doing a great job, because a lot of people are following that now, getting the information. So the information to tell the people the Gambia High Commission is here for you to go and register. I think my name is on the list. Check my name for me. If not, I'll give you my details.
Sure. But first and foremost, I just invite you to at least invite people to also visit the website. It's there. There's a lot of information. The way we're thinking is there. The way we're trying to advance things is there. The contacts, especially. For instance, the Gambia High Commission email is info@gambiahc.org. It was something different before. But before you can know those things, if you just go to the website, you'll see that it is updated. The website is there, is updated. The information that you would need to contact us is also there. But I also, maybe perhaps one thing that I should also emphasize, I mean, for me, you'll probably say it's an achievement, but I just see it as doing our work. It's the fact that we are trying as much as possible to give the information that we think Gambians should have. You know, we are trying to give out that information. If anything happens, we jump on it quickly and we try to know what the facts are, and we put it out there for Gambians to know the actual facts of what has happened or what is going on. And we always tell them that if there is an update, you know, we will obviously also put it on the website or on the Facebook page for people to know. So we're trying to do this. I think this is also, information is power. You know that better than I do. You know, information is power. So it's important to update people and let them know what we are doing and what is going on at the embassy, but the work that we are carrying on amongst Gambians.
1 year today.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Any regrets? Any failures?
Well, certainly not regrets. Certainly not regrets. Okay, what I was doing was quite different, but it also involved a lot of interactions. And you know, I had always also tried to give it my best. Coming here, I'm also looking at it as, again, another opportunity to serve my country, you know, to serve my people. For me, service is very important. So I see it as that opportunity. And definitely, as long as I am able to do that and I'm able to do it well, I do not regret the fact that I'm here.
Your final thoughts before we go, Your Excellency.
I will always just call on, you know, first of all, I just want to thank you for having me on this platform to be able to discuss about my work and interact with other Gambians. I just want to leave with the thought, and I've said it over and over again in the course of this interview, but what I just wanted to say is that, you know, the Gambia is our Gambia. The Gambia is our country. You know, each and every one of us has a duty and a responsibility to take this country to another level. You don't even have to be in the government, but we have responsibility towards our country. I think it's already said and known that they say, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I think we all know that very well. So this is what I think we should always have at the forefront, you know, uppermost in our minds, that it is our country and we have a responsibility to make it better for us. So, and I call on unity again. I call on unity and I call on support for one another, you know, whilst we are out here in the outside of the Gambia. So
unity is strength, and civic education as well is one of it. Anytime you think I am of use, you know where to find me.
Yes, I do. As I said, I want to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and also to really commend you on doing this, because really you've had your setup, you know, and you're doing it for the country.
Yeah, because this is the only Gambian radio station in Leeds, to be fair.
That's right. So you're doing it for our country. I want to first and foremost congratulate you on that, but also to encourage you to take it even further, you know.
With your support.
The sky is the limit.
With your support, I'll continue. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Yeah. I can't thank you enough, you know, for your time, energy, and effort that you spent to come and spend with us here. On that note, I would like to say a good evening to you, and then have a pleasant evening. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. And thank you. Thank you.
Right, that was the Honorable Honorable His Excellency or High Excellency, the Ambassador, the High Commissioner of the Gambia to the United Kingdom, Honorable Fatou Bensouda, with us in the studios here. She promised and she came round, and then we had a fruitful conversation, I call it discussion, regarding the Gambia. So you know where to find the details about Gambia High Commission. You know what are the hitches and difficulties, pass the message on so that a lot of people out there who do not know might know. On that note, I would like to say thank you all for your time, energy, and effort. From Skype Radio and TV services at the seat is Mustafa Jame saying good evening.